The emotive form generation, where we took an emotion and we had a visual support, and then we converted into a sculpture. So what we chose for the emotion was the aspiration part, aspiration as an emotion. So the image I chose was of a farmer plucking or holding the fruit. So it was like the farmers are supporting for the better future, and the image showed a deep attachment to the better future and supporting and holding it. So in the whole assignment was divided into four parts. That's visual material collection and visual grammar and exploration with clay and refinements. So the visual grammar and the explorations that we did covered the most of the part of the assignment. And so the visual grammar was that we had a primary element in that image and the secondary element. So what I chose was the better future, or that the fruit as a stable mass as the primary element, and the holding hands as the secondary element, which is supporting the primary element. So that was my statement for the abstraction of this form. And then the explorations with clay were made so that in both the explorations, the primary element is the this, where the bottom or the supporting, the secondary element is supporting. So in both of, from both of these clay explorations, we came to an conclusion that this was better. And what we did was that we clubbed our ideas together. We made groups and we clubbed our ideas together. And four of us, me, Saksham, Ayush, and Akansha, formed a group. And then we continued this assignment as a group work. So that will be explained later. And finally, we came to, after more explorations, cardboard prototype, we did the real sculpture with scrap wood material, which was found in our college.
So this was a group assignment that we did, that we initially started by picking out pictures of from magazines. Uh, in a picture, we were analyzing the primary element and the secondary element. In my picture, I found out that the primary, which are the lights, are highlighted by the secondary. The secondary is pushing the primary, and the primary is radiating, which I tried to convert into my clay doodle. And a very quick rough doodle I made, in which I wanted to show radiance. And then we worked as a group together and started making the models. So, as a group together, we started making cardboard models by taking everyone's sentences. Mine was radiating up, my another members was pushing upwards. So, we started by making this cardboard models initially out of these from references from the clay doodles. We found out that this was very stable. It did not represent the pushing forward part. So, we switched it and made some changes to it, in which we wanted to show this upward push and this radiance that is there. And we came up with the final structure, the installation. Uh, I understood from this that the scale is very important. What we see on a small cardboard model necessarily won't be represented in the large scale. So we had to make small changes. We had to eliminate the planks that were there, and as well as we understood how it's supposed to be joined. We added small structures to keep the radiating planks in place, as well as adding small triangles for support together. And it also changes the effect of the big scale. When you see a small model and when you see it in a 6 foot tall model, the whole effect of what we want to, the aspiration component of it, it enhances more. So this was a good experience working on a large scale model for the first time.
in terms of aspiration, we were asked to pick a picture which relates to the term aspiration and to create an grammar out of it. And we are like taking a primary element from it and a secondary element from it. And we were like, so here I came up with a sentence of like primary pushing down secondary. And this sentence were used to progress in the next stage of the assignment. Where we were like in a group, and we were four people in a group, and we were taken the same sentences, which are for me was pushing down, and the other people were flourishing forcefully, and these to create a sculpture of those feet. So this was our first sculpture. So we made it in like a cardboard, and this was a sculpture.
Yeah. Then comes sculpture of aspiration. Here we had to take a magazine photo and find out the primary element and the secondary element of the in the photo. So this was my photo. It was kind of a trees and trunks everywhere. So in this photo, for what I saw, what I observed was the trunk were highlighting, and I chose it as a primary element, and the leaves, which were just covering and flourishing around it, was my secondary observation. So the conclusion, the line which I fixed was the secondary element is flourishing around the primary element to move upwards. You can see these sculptures. This was like the 5-minute doodling with clay we did. So this is the one. Like the primary element is the big one, the trunk I depicted, and the small elements were the leaves, which depicted the secondary element, which were flourishing. And yeah, then the next step was the group project. So yeah, 4 of us came together and worked on one single project. Everyone had their own lines and statements, and we had to bring it all together into one sculpture. So yeah, this is the final product where, in my opinion, you can see that these slabs were flourishing around the main element. That was my key part.
Then for the aspiration one, my theme was secondary is supporting the primary to radiate. As you can see in the picture, the secondary being the hands of the lady and the primary being the beauty of the lady. So it's like supporting to radiate the beauty. So in this case, like 3 images were to be collected. This was the final one which I chose. Then exploration in clay, like this was the clay thing I made, depicting the secondary supporting primary to radiate. Then we did some group explorations in cardboard and then group sculptures, which my group will show later on. So this is like the cardboard thing which we came up. The left one is the first ideation, and the final thing we came up with is the right one, as you can see. Thank you.